Welcome to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast, brought to you by Trailstone Insurance Group, bringing you interviews with Colorado's best real estate and mortgage professionals, empowering you to understand the current trends in the housing market so you can make the American dream your reality. Enjoy today's episode.
Well, it's a great day in Colorado, and welcome to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast. Today, we have with us Sam Barnes, who's a real estate agent with the Barnes Home Group at eXp. Sam, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. I always love learning from new people and their perspectives, and it's so curious to me how you can talk about the same topic like real estate and have so many different colorful perspectives. So I always love to learn what gets people into the business. So tell us a little bit about your background and your story and your entrepreneurial journey and what got you into the real estate industry.
I'm happy to do it. So yeah, my origin story, so to speak, is kind of unique, where I bought my very first home literally the day I turned 18 years old.
Wow.
And lived there for a couple years, ended up turning that into a rental for some of my friends, sold it, made double the money on it, did the same thing a few different times. So I always had a huge interest in real estate and saw the benefits that it can have on somebody individually and personally. And then, throughout the course of life, I had a chance to wear a lot of different hats, from financial planner to sales and engineering. And my wife became pregnant with twins who are now in the business as well. And this is 19 years ago. But when they were born, we really, I wanted to have a focus on being able to be a part of their life and be in the day-to-day and still have an opportunity to serve others and earn a good living. And that opened up the doors for real estate. It became a really clear choice for me.
Yeah, it really seems to be that industry where there's so much flexibility. And also, I think you would agree with this, it is a tremendous opportunity to build lifelong relationships with your clients, because it tends to be, as opposed to many industries, like, I don't know, car sales. You never hear back from the car salesman that sold you the car, but your real estate agent, if they do it the right way, you become lifelong friends. Is that what you have found as well?
Yeah, that's definitely something that we found. We have a lot of clients who turn into friends, and we end up going to Avs games and Nuggets games, or going to their kids' birthday parties, or just being able to do barbecues and celebrate with them. And a lot of folks that we've been able to help 4, 5, 6 times now.
Wow.
Of course, along with their friends and family as well.
Yeah, it's one thing to kind of smile and nod and go, "Oh, thanks, Sam, and we appreciate your help," and "Oh, we'll be in touch." And then when they actually come back and then come back again, and you get into the multiples, 3, 4, and 5, and 6 times, that you're walking your talk and saying, "Yeah, we don't just say we treat people right, we do." And look at this. So that's spectacular. Now, obviously, real estate is a broad industry. So you mentioned you bought your first home at 18 and then turned it into a rental. Is there anything you specifically specialize in? Do you work with only buyers, only sellers, investors, or everywhere in between?
The truth is, I have a team now. So amongst the team, we help everybody from every different stretch. I've had a lot of experience with everything personally, from investment properties, and that is a passion of mine, really, in terms of helping people figure out how they can grow wealth and set themselves up for future success. But nowadays, we mainly focus on helping people who are either trying to move up and get a little more space as their family grows, or on the flip side of that, there's a lot of people who've kind of had their kids fly the nest and they're looking to downsize. And we deal with a lot of golf course and luxury type homes as well, mountain homes.
What about the people that are looking at investing? Are you finding these days, mid 2022 here at the time of this recording, are people into the fix and flips as much as they used to be, or are they looking more for the long-term buy and then hold it as a rental for investment?
Right now, the best investments and the best opportunities really do lie in the buy and hold and turn them into rentals. It's with the market being as crazy as it's been over the last several years, I guess. Fix and flips exist, but they're not as lucrative as they used to be. And there's a little bit more of some challenges that go into those. So Right now, I definitely say that the best opportunities are in those rentals and the long-term holds.
Yep. Well, you mentioned you have a financial services background. I'm sure that the buy and hold, quote unquote, is a mantra you've used your whole career. And yes, even though there were the spikes of some fix and flips or good deals, still, if you have the mindset of getting in a property the right way and holding it long term for all the benefits that it provides, tax write offs and cash flow and all of those things, that's the right way to approach real estate, because probably the people that are trying to get in and get a quick deal, they're trying to move so fast that sometimes you can make a misstep and maybe you lose out, and maybe the margins compress a little tighter than what you had hoped for. So I think that buy and hold mentality for the long term tends to be the best. What are some of the things that you advise your clients on when you're helping them with that investment process?
Really, we'd like to sit down with them and just get a good understanding of what their goals are and what they really want to get accomplished with it. I think most people's initial answer to that question is, I want to make money.
Yeah.
And as we start kind of peeling back the layers and getting a understanding of what making money to them means, a lot of times it means, well, helping get myself set up so I have money for my kids when they go to college, or helping myself get set up so I don't have to work so hard when I'm older and I don't want to. So we kind of walk them through the whole path of, what their options are, what choices they have in front of them. There's a ton of different ways to go about buying real estate and putting it inside of your investment portfolio. And we like to educate and share that detail with them and help them make the best choice.
Yeah, Sam, that's really important what you just said. Educating and asking the right questions, because making money to one person may mean something different to another. So I really like that approach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And clarifying questions are so important, because, well, tell me what's important about making money, or tell me what's important about, and sometimes you get a couple, 3 layers deep and you discover that the most important thing isn't the money itself, but it's the whatever stability that it provides my family, or my child is going to college and I want to have a place that they can live while they're, instead of the dorm life, and then we're going to sell it later. So yeah, clarifying and questions, that just makes sure that everyone's on the right page.
Definitely. I think that's, one of the big things that a lot of people miss up front. And then they find out that they're getting into something more than they wanted, or something different than they wanted. So we make it a big priority to make sure we understand what the end goal really is, and that the client does, because sometimes they haven't gone through that discovery process themselves and had that big conversation. So we really enjoy getting down to the granular level and understanding what they really want to get out of the whole thing.
Well, I have found myself that when things come up that I have to do a certain way, and then if you don't have to do it for several years, you forget how you did it, and then you go to Google and figure it out. Well, people buy houses every how long? 5 to 7 to 10 years. So even though you went through the process once or twice, it's not as fresh in your mind as, some things, as some processes. So I think, even though you're working with a client that might have been, 4 or 5 time homeowner, boy, taking them through that same process that you all as a team have, I would think will pay dividends to make sure that they feel taken care of.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more on that. And with the market being something that's constantly in flow and changing, right? One day interest rates are here, the next they're somewhere else. And one day it's a strong seller's market, and then it kind of softens and becomes a little bit more of a buyer and seller market. It's important to have those conversations and set expectations with people up front, so they know what we're dealing with, because it's not only going to be different than it was 5 or 7 or 10 years ago, but a lot of times is different than what it was just 2 months ago.
Yeah, 5 or 7 months ago. Sure. You're right.
Yeah. Right. So it's always important to make sure that folks are dealing with real-time information and getting good information and factual stuff in front of them so they can make good decisions.
So tell us about your team.
Yeah, so we've had a team for the last 10 years, and I've had an opportunity to really help some people grow their careers. And that's one of the things that I take a ton of pride and pleasure in these days, is seeing folks, who came into the real estate business without any real estate background, but great people who had great customer service skills and good ambitions, and helping them understand what this industry is and how to navigate your way through it and succeed. As you guys know, I think the dropout rate is about 85% of agents in the first 3 years. And we're lucky enough that we've had a lot of agents on our team for, over 5 years, and people who are just thriving and making a good living and making those same types of connections with their clients that have led them to become part of those families and those communities. And that's huge. And with the group, we're kind of geographically dispersed, so we cover the entire metro area. And that's nice because we can help people wherever they are.
Do you find that you have members of your team that specialize in both certain areas of Colorado, as well as, here's our buyer team or here's our, seller team? So do you break it down that way?
We do. So we like to help everybody kind of focus in on the areas and the neighborhoods that they live in, so they're automatically just kind of built-in experts. But myself and my wife really drive the sales piece and the listing piece of our business right now. And the majority of the agents, they help those who they've already helped. But for the most part, they're helping all of our buyer clients out there find their dream home and get into those. And as mentioned, it's definitely something that is exciting and fulfilling to watch not only them grow their business, but watch the relationships that they build as they get into the business.
And probably even internal relationships. I know when I hear the word team, a lot of times one of the competitive advantages to a new client would be, hey, you know what? We have such a vibrant team that when we come up with, nuances, not problems, but opportunities or nuances within a transaction, boy, I just bring it to my team and we can brainstorm it, mastermind it, and put it together and get it fixed. Like, ooh, what did you do about this city regulation? This came up. And I think that having that team with a lot of experience, both in years of experience and number of transactions, that is a great service you can bring to your clients too.
Yeah, that's something that is, it's definitely fun to be a part of, to get that synergy going and see everybody kind of putting their best practices out there and brainstorming to help figure out how we can help each other out and help our clients out is huge. And not only do we have the benefit of doing that internally, but we have a lot of different groups throughout the country with some of the best agents in the world who we're able to connect with and share thoughts and ideas. And that's one of the things that I really love about this business is there's always something new out there, and there's always the ability to continue to learn and to grow.
So also, talk a little bit about what some of the tools and technologies that eXp gives you to then provide to your clients.
Yeah, so we're definitely lucky to be partnered with eXp, and they're one of the leaders in the space, from not only the number of agents and transactions, but just from folks who are constantly moving the ball forward in the industry here. So we have some of the best tech in the industry, and me and my team actually specialize in working with some amazing technology that's on top of what we get provided by eXp to give our clients just the deepest level of customer service and engagement with what's going on in the market in real time. But the partnerships and the relationships that we're able to build in the eXp universe here, which is now all 50 states and 22 other countries, we're really able to mastermind with some of the brightest minds in the business. And to me, that's one of the biggest benefits that we have in the company.
Love it. I mean, these days, it seems like if you're on the technology swing, you were not really impacted by COVID, because, you hear a lot of the real estate agents that are going, oh, well, we have virtual tours. Well, if you had that tech in place, that was nothing new. So I think that's a really big plus when, you hear that from you guys. It's like, you know what? Why do we need to have all of this paper or all of these processes when we can have technology that serves you as fast and efficiently as, these other ways? So I think, did you guys notice that with now some of your clients going, wow, that's amazing. And you're silently thinking, that's the way we always do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, technology has definitely been a huge tool for us. We actually have been lucky enough to help a lot of people moving to Colorado from around the country. So, we've been able to do Zoom tours for them and, get them inside of our own private
awesome.
groups to do video tours and have them see homes in real time and get them the whole purchase process set up, and to the point where they're actually flying out to Colorado just for the inspection and to see the home firsthand after it's about to be theirs. So that's huge.
That's got to be satisfying to be able to help a client buy a house like that and have them totally satisfied, especially with the market as hot as it is.
Absolutely. And we're lucky enough now that, with them taking the time to say a few good words for us on our Google review page and some of our other review sites, that we're getting random phone calls from people saying, hey, I've seen that you're helping people relocate. And I love what I've heard and I want to work with you. So that's it's satisfying and it's rewarding. And of course, it's the best way there is to do business, is that word of mouth and having a friend tell a friend.
Yes. And you mentioned relocation is so important, because if you're out of state and the market, even if it's not, boiling hot, the markets move quickly. So you might not have the time to go, well, in a month and a half, we're going to be coming into town. So can you show, you might lose out on opportunities. So to be there with the tech, to be able to say, here's this, series of houses we're going to take you through and do a virtual real time. Now that out of state person looking to relocate, you don't have to feel like you have to jump on a plane every other day just to, pick up the opportunities.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a huge benefit that living in this day and age we get that a lot of people didn't have, a few years back. So it's really strengthened the platforms that we have to offer our clients. And, we're always looking for that next newest opportunity to be able to help somebody out in new ways.
100%. Well, Sam, it's been such a pleasure chatting with you about how you serve your clients. Any final thoughts, and what's the best way that someone listening to this would say, I want to learn more? How can they connect with Sam Barnes and the Barnes Home Group at eXp?
They can find us at our website there, which is thebarneshomegroup.com. And I'm all over social. TikTok has been a big boost for us lately here with what we're doing, as well as LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. And, my only words to everybody out there is, if you don't own a home, best time to buy one was 5 years ago, and the next best time to buy one is today. So
yes, I love it.
Let's see how we can help.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you for coming on, Sam. It's a real pleasure talking with you.
And I sure appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast, brought to you by Trailstone Insurance Group. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.coloradorealestateleaders.com.